Friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about some simple steps that you can make towards building wealth. I'm not promising that this is going to happen overnight. It's going to take 10, 20, 15, even 30 years, but I promise you that if you implement these steps, you will build wealth over the long term. If you are new here, my name is Sam, and on this channel we cover entrepreneurship, finance, investing, and helping you live a more financially free life. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Obviously, this is not financial advice. You and only you are responsible for your financial decisions. But if you listen and implement some of these steps, I think it will provide you a lot of value in your life. It's such a shame that this stuff isn't taught in school, and that's why I'm super passionate about teaching it. So let's get right into it. Something that I think we should address beforehand is when you get your paycheck, it's going to go into your checking account. I'll put a little diagram right here, but basically once it's in the checking account, you want to make sure that it flows to all these different areas outside of the checking account. The main reason for this is because mentality. If you see it in the checking account, you're probably going to spend it, but if you transfer it to another area and it occurs on a monthly basis or weekly basis, it goes to another account, you're not going to see it, you're not going to spend it, it's going to take a lot of time to transfer it back. It's just a good practice when paying yourself first. Step number one is save up $1,500 for an emergency fund. Now, the previous step that I just talked about is really important in this part because you want to have another account that pulls maybe $100, $200 out of your account every month and puts it into a separate emergency fund so that you don't see it and that you don't touch it and spend it. For some of you, $1,500 is going to be a lot of money, and some of you, $1,500 you already have in the bank. If you're on the lower end of that spectrum and you think it's really hard to save up $1,500, I would say really understand your finances, look at everything that you're spending, and make sure that those are all needs and not wants, and then try to find that money there. Even if it's just $10 a month, it's going to take you a while, but really try to cut as much as you can and save up this lump sum of cash. It's really important. So once you have that $1,500 saved up, which is really just a basic emergency fund, if your car broke down, if your child needed to go to surgery and you had to pay for medical bills, whatever it might be, then you're going to want to move on to step number two. Step number two is pay off debt. Now, whichever way you want to attack this is completely fine. If you want to start with high interest debt like credit cards that are at 26%, and then you want to go to student loans afterwards, which are 3 or 4%, whatever they might be, then that is fine. If you want to do it the other way around, that's fine as well. I think people get caught up on what is the right way to attack debt, and sure, mathematically, maybe it's attacking those higher interest rates first, but if it gives you satisfaction from paying down smaller sums first, either way works, right? You can pay off the high interest or the low amount, whichever one works for you. That brings us on to step number three, which I like to call bankroll. Some people call it fully funded emergency funds. Some people call it 4 to 6 months of pay. Whatever you might want to call it, I would say save up 6 months of expenses, okay? This should be sitting in cash in a high yield savings account online. I use Wealthfront. I'll link them down below. I think they're paying 4.55% on a high interest savings account right now at the filming of this video. Don't feel obligated to use them. There's plenty of others online, and just make sure that you're getting a decent interest rate on this cash that's sitting on hand because it is going to be a pretty large sum. So this 6 months of expenses that you want in the bank is in case you lose your job, in case you plan on quitting in the future and moving on to something else, in case you want to take on that risk and be an entrepreneur one day. I think this is a really great starting point for having some cash in the bank as a safety net. That brings us to step number 4, which is retirement. The reason I didn't put this step earlier is because I think it's important to pay off high interest debt like credit card loans before you get into retirement. So to approach retirement, I think there's kind of 2 ways to do this. If your company provides a 401k and they match, I would say match to that specific amount. So let's say they give you 3%, so you have to put in 3% and they give you a 3% match. Put in that 3% to get that full 6%. It's free money. After that, I would say open up a Roth IRA. At the time of this video being filmed, it's 2023, and you can put in $6,500 into a Roth IRA every year. I will make a video about Roth IRAs in the future, but basically what a Roth IRA is that you put post-tax money into a tax-free account, okay? When you're putting money into a 401k at work, you're putting in pre-tax dollars. You're allowed to put money in before you are taxed on it. With a Roth IRA, you put post-tax dollars in. So whatever you take home, you put into that Roth. And then one day when you're 59 and a half and you can pull the money out, it is all tax-free. So that is a really good incentive for you to put money in if you think that you're going to be in a higher tax bracket when you retire, which for all these people watching this video, I would hope that you would be if you follow these steps. Roth IRAs are really great, highly recommend. So just to recap, you want to save anywhere from 5 to 15% for retirement, right? So if you are employed, like most people in this video are, you will go to your employer. If they match, you put in the match, and then you'd go to a Roth IRA, put in that $6,500 a year that you're getting tax-free when you're 59 and a half, and then I would go put money back in to that 401k, if that makes sense. So I know it's going around a little bit, but it's crucial that you put money in this Roth IRA because it grows tax-free. And if you're in your 20s and 30s and you start putting in money now, you're going to have millions by the time you retire if you max it out every year. Even if you don't, you'll still have good money. No better time to start than now. Don't make excuses. Go open up a Roth IRA. I'll put a link in the description for Wealthfront. Don't feel obligated to use them either. I just really like their platform. It's super intuitive, and you can open up a Roth IRA pretty much at any brokerage. Step number 5 is invest. Once you're done investing for retirement, I would say open an individual brokerage account, which can be done at any brokerage, and start investing into index funds and ETFs. A couple that come to mind are VU, which track the S&P 500, and VTI, which tracks the total stock market. These are just a couple I invest in. Obviously, do your own research. There's a bunch more, and yeah, look into that. Another thing you can invest into in this category is real estate. Now, whether that's buying rental properties in your local area or investing in REITs, and REITs are just real estate investment trusts. Basically, they're just companies that own income generating real estate. Another thing that I'll put in here is investing in yourself. Once you have some money, I would say maybe learn a new skill, whether that's a new trade that you can do or learning an online skill that will allow you to grow your income. This is also really important in this category as well. These are my 5 steps to getting wealthy. These are the core things you need to do with every paycheck, and then you can buy all the extra things that you want to do, whether it's shopping or going out with friends, going to the movies. All these things come first, and then everything follows. If you've enjoyed this video, like I said, please give me a like and subscribe down below. I hope this has provided you some value. Like I said, this isn't taught in schools. It's really important, and I hope in 30 years we can look back, everybody watching this video can look back and say, these steps made you wealthy. Thank you for watching.